Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing quite well this morning. Using song for wellness. My goodness.
Yes.
So, of course, here on Hudson Valley Focus Live, the entire idea of health, nutrition, holistic health, something we try to feature here, and it seems like this would be one more component of keeping ourselves healthy.
Yes, definitely. I think that the statistics show that we need to have some creative alternatives out there to really help our wellness, I mean, one of the first kind of statistics that really blew me away when I started Be Delighted is that major depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide. And so I kept asking that question of why? Why is it? Is it something we're eating? Is it our environmental toxins? Is it, too much stress in our lives? And really, it's, I think, a lot of that.
All of the above?
All of the above, yes.
That's certainly what it sounds like. So how do you, your BeDelightedToday.com, what are the techniques? What are you recommending, Andrea?
Yeah, so this program really is bringing singing into communities. I want communities singing together. So much in the world right now, I think, a lot of negativity, and I'm trying to bring some positive reinforcement here. And so the singing program really is getting people singing, first of all. Singing, there's so many benefits to singing. It oxygenates the brain. The physical benefits are just amazing. It improves sleep. Singing, releases pain-relieving endorphins. The lung capacity increases. It literally boosts our immune system. And one really cool research study that I came across was in Frankfurt University. They tested the blood of people who sang in a professional choir in the city, and they found that the concentration of proteins in the immune system that function as antibodies, they increased significantly during the rehearsal. And so just on a physical level, this is a very positive tool for us as persons. Now, certainly on a psychological, emotional level, I mean, what a great way to express our sentiments, We may have things that are kind of inside of us on a subconscious level that we can sing those things away, and we can also sing to each other. And so the program with Be Delighted is I'm going into communities and I'm doing this concert, but it's an engaged concert where I sing first to the audience for about 45 to an hour, and then the audience actually sings back to me. So I'm bringing them through a series of different activities to get them singing. And I have to tell you, Tom, it was fantastic what happened in Minnesota with our first launch of this concert. It was called Shakopee to Carnegie. And, there are many people from that community that supported me in my career coming out to New York City and then having the Carnegie Hall performance in November. And so I wanted to go back to my community and really say thank you and give gratitude, and at the same time show them, hey, let's start singing. Let's get this community really excited and thrilled and to know that we have these activities that bring people together.
On the phone with me, Andrea Lynn Cianflone, using song for wellness. Her website, BeDelightedToday.com. Now, you have a concert coming up here in New York, or do you have a concert in any time in the future?
Yeah, so right now we're preparing for the tour for the fall.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of work that's involved in that. There's so many moving parts right now with Be Delighted. I'm just super thrilled. One of the big goals is to get a sort of retreat center area where we can host groups to come and they take part in these activities. And, I've been really trying to focus on groups where depression might be, that might be more influenced in that area. So, you look at, say, our veterans, our military
Right.
veterans, or law enforcement people, people who are out on the lines of fire, so to speak, every day, and the high levels of stress and how that impacts the body. So we just want to bring people there to get away from the work, and put them before beautiful music and beautiful imagery, because, the whole intent of Be Delighted is how the arts and creativity impact health and wellness. So we want to be very inclusive of other different artistic forms, but being that I'm a singer, it makes sense to have these sing programs. So I have Sing for Wellness, Sing for Success, which I'd love to bring into corporate environments, and Sing for Love, which is the newest thing, which I don't have all the information on the website yet, but Stay tuned because it will be there.
So it seems to me there's probably at least two components to this. I mean, we know that songs can, move us emotionally. Going back a number of years ago, gosh, it's 25 plus years ago already, we went through a big job loss here in the Hudson Valley, big job loss. And I wound up creating an organization that came to be called the Duchess Alliance for Human Needs. And over a 4-year period, we sponsored 7 major events that brought people together as to how we would deal with the large-scale unemployment, and of course then the spillover of that with the resulting depression, as you say, domestic violence. Every one of those events that we always hosted, everyone always opened up with musical performances, and and then at various times throughout the day, we would have food, music to really, in the sense that, in days gone by where, a neighbor's barn burned down, you didn't lament the loss. You brought together your friends and family and neighbors and food and song, and you just worked together to rebuild it. And I have a sense that's what you're striving for here.
Yes, that's exactly it. I think it's, when you see that fire, it's like a firefighter running into it, and taking the water and putting it out, not just letting it increase, right? So I think that, like you said, how singing can really impact, your community that was struggling with the unemployment rate. There's something about a song where once you just start singing, you start smiling, unless you're singing about like some breakup or something.
Right,
but, in general, I think there's so much, even on a deeper level, when you're singing. I mean, when you think about how it creates a sense of vulnerability, when people aren't used to singing to each other or for each other, it really takes us out of our shell in that. And I think it also gives us the ability to express our sorrows, and at the same time celebrate our strengths, and to also overcome those. Did we lose? Forgive.
There we go. I'm sorry. Say that again, because for some reason our connection cut out there for a second.
Oh, sure. Well, I was just saying that singing gives us this ability to express our sorrows, and at the same time celebrate our strengths. And I think also, when I look at depression, I believe real strongly that forgiveness is a part of this, right? Like there's so much that can cause depression. I mean, it can be anything, like we said, from, losing your job. And it can also mean, losing a loved one, or having trauma in your life, or whatever it may be. And so I think that singing gives that opportunity for us to kind of tap into that area of forgiveness, for whatever it may be for each person.
And back to my conversation with Andrea Lynn Cianflone, using song for wellness, and of course her website, BeDelightedToday.com. Earlier this morning, Andrea, I was talking about and you spoke about depression. I was talking about the story I had that in 2017, 47,173 Americans committed suicide, and so and that rate is sadly increasing. So there's no question that we have to be looking at ways to, obviously not everything is going to work for every person, but ways that we can uplift ourselves and our communities.
Absolutely. I think the other thing too, when I was looking into how this, depression really impacts, like in the business sector, I found that depression was the top 3 factors in workplace absenteeism
Yes.
and presenteeism. And so that's why I really wanted to bring this thing for wellness, like right into these environments, like do a 45-minute lunch program where people can take part in singing and then, go back to their jobs for, the next 4 hours of their day or whatever it may be. And, they're little steps. Singing is not to replace, of course, any therapies or
Right.
medicines that people are taking. However, I do believe that this is a beautiful additional medicinal, if you will, to help curb that, because we've seen that in 20 years, antidepressant use has gone up, 400%. And like you said, the rate is continuing amongst different groups of people, even teenagers, the rise of suicide in young adults is rampant. So, but again, I love to focus on the positive. Let's really just go in and find what that song in the heart is and unleash that song, and to do it together as people, and that's a beautiful thing.
So to wrap up, how do if someone wanted to learn more about you or make contact with you to put together something for their firm, how would they go about doing that?
Sure, yeah. Well, you can visit bedelightedtoday.com. There's a contact page there. And they can also visit my other website at www.andrea, Lynn, Lynn.com. I shortened it so that people wouldn't have to spell out Cianflone. But it's Andrea-Lynn.com. They can see a bunch of blog writings that I, talk about different areas of life, in this really beautiful lifestyle movement. And you can contact me through there, and we'll have somebody get back for sure. And, of course, enjoy the music that's on there. We've got some fun performances, the national anthem from the NFL performance a couple of years back, and some other things. So people like that.
Well, Andrea, I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts with us, and every little step that we can do, I think, can work in a positive sense to help people and communities improve their lives. Absolutely.
Thank you, Tom. I'm really grateful for your willingness to have me on your radio show this morning.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.